Good morning, everyone. Okay, thank you for joining us in LINE Intertrust Privacy Summit. I'm Takesh Nakayama, the Chief Privacy Officer of LINE. We are honored to be able to host this sixth joint summit with Intertrust for the first time here in Paris. I wish to thank Talal and the Intertrust team for organizing this summit at an excellent location. This summit, a joint summit, has been a very successful platform to collaborate with and to learn from each other. And we have great speakers and panelists today to talk all about data privacy here in Paris. Now, before we begin, how many of you guys know about LINE? Oh, wow! I didn't expect that. I prepared a brief introduction of LINE, so I'll just allow me. Now, before we begin, I wish to talk about who you are, what LINE is. LINE is a global mobile communication platform. We started in June 2011 as a mobile messenger application in order to meet people's needs for enhanced communication services right after the great earthquake in eastern Japan. Starting from Japan, with a focus on Asia, in particular Japan, Taiwan, Thailand, and Indonesia, we have been able to expand our services to consumers in more than 230 countries and regions and in 17 languages. LINE is now a giant communication platform with 186 million active users around the world. We strive to evolve into the #1 smart portal to meet all needs that our users face in a constantly changing mobile universe. Since the launch, we have added various useful services to our messenger platform in order to make people's life more convenient and easier. We provide online music, shopping, news, manga, food delivery, and are further expanding our services to include fintech, healthcare, and a personal AI assistant. We support our users in all material aspects of their everyday life, from morning to just before bedtime. We call it life online. That's a keyword. Now let's talk about today's summit. In this summit, we set the theme as protecting the integrity of the data-driven economy and call it a privacy summit for the first time. Some of the topics that I wish to discuss with you today are what privacy needs should be protected in today's data-driven world. When handling data, what is really expected? And what integrity is required? Before we get right into it, let me just go back a bit and sum up what we talked about in the past summit. We discussed that in today's data-driven economy, many companies are wanting to become a data company. They collect, analyze massive amounts of data to provide better and more useful services to their users. But consumers, they are not completely clear what exactly data companies are doing with their data. We receive suggestions on music, movies that we may like, goods that we may be interested in, events nearby. But how do they know what we want to listen, watch, or buy? How do they know where we work and live? Who can precisely tell us what data companies are doing with their data? It is so unclear to us that I describe this new era of data as uncharted era. It seems handling user data in a privacy-friendly way is yet to be cleared up completely, and there is no compass that leads in the right direction. In the new era of data, many countries, including Japan, have adopted a rule-based approach where privacy protection is about responding to specific requirements of privacy regulations. Compliance is blindly following those rules. However, data companies use technology to store data on a daily basis, looking for ways to use data that we could not imagine before. Under such circumstances, specific rules can easily become obsolete. In this new era of data, we can see cases again and again where the rule-based approach failed to protect privacy sufficiently in the eyes of the public. Now let me talk about one privacy incident happened in Japan this summer. It's about the HR tech company. It operates dominant job portal in Japan. Almost all major companies in Japan are registered to and have their jobs posted on this portal. Users can apply for a job through the portal, and then the HR tech company decided to analyze job applicants' browsing patterns and establish a model to predict their likelihood of declining a job offer. For example, if a user was actively seeking jobs, right after applying to a position, the user's likelihood of declining the offer if it was made was set high. We all know that predicting such data related to a job offer is a very sensitive and important matter to both companies and applicants. This HR tech company eventually disclosed that they had sold the predicted data to companies. This led much debate amongst industries, experts, and the government. Now, there are several issues raised in this case. The first one is obviously the classic privacy issue, that is whether the HR company failed to obtain user consent or have other legal bases to analyze and sell user data. The second one, that relates to the competition law. Can we say that the HR company having the dominant position in the market was able to obtain appropriate consent? The third one is an ethical one, whether it was okay for the company in the first place to sell such data that could directly affect the outcome of the recruitment. The HR tech company discontinued the service after the disclosure. But this case had a huge impact on many companies taking the rule-based approach and led a variety of discussions about the integrity required to data companies. We've seen similar cases, not just in Japan, but also globally, where moral responsibilities of data companies are questioned. This March, Facebook announced that it would stop using age, gender, home address information for ads in housing, recruitment, and credit transactions. It was intended to change the way advertisers treat certain users differently and improve important aspects of life and universal access. In AI community, more companies now recognize the problem of the traditional rule-based approach and started establishing their own ethical standards. EU and OECD respectively published guidelines to promote ethical use of AI. Google also published their own guidelines. Last October, Amazon announced that it would dissolve its project team for developing AI-based recruitment because their algorithm failed to rate candidates in a gender-neutral way. In today's data-driven economy, data use has the potential to make our life more convenient. However, it is important for data companies to recognize that data use could create new ethical human rights issues. Credit scores. It may cause discrimination. Search engine may promote a bias. Data companies should think about not just set rules, but also the integrity that is constantly required. where data companies' more responsibilities are constantly questioned, active discussions across sectors are becoming increasingly important to create common understanding of the relevant issues. Today, we're planning to valuable expert lectures, discussions amongst industries, government agencies, and academia. I'm also very excited to be able to hold a summit on the theme of integrity here in Europe, where one of the answers to the integrity was given in the principle of GDPR, obviously. I hope today's summit will be a meaningful and productive one for all of you, and thank you for listening and enjoy your day.